Today I am at the Periyar Tiger Reserve to explore the lake cruise, the tiger and elephants. Today I am at the Periyar Tiger Reserve to explore the lake cruise, the famous lake cruise for which almost all the tourists make a beeline. And it's early in the morning at 7:30 and we're going to take the first cruise into the lake. The lake cruise activity starts from the booking counter. Buy your entry ticket, the parking ticket, and once you're done with that, you need to proceed to the queue where you're picked up on a bus, which is a common bus for everyone, and you travel all the way inside the Periyar Tiger Reserve. You need to buy your tickets, the boating ticket. You pass on the tickets at the checkpoint, and then you get into the boat landing point. There's a series of steps which takes you all the way towards the boats. And once you're inside the boat, you have clearly marked seat numbers on which you are to be seated. You have to wear your safety gear, which is indicated by the guide who's on board, and then you have to be seated comfortably. Please ensure that you do not stand up, you do not move around. These are the basic etiquettes that you need to follow when you are on this boat cruise. So this is where you come in after you pick up the tickets. And this is the welcome center where you get to be seated. There's a lot of information which is there about the flora and fauna. Inside you have binoculars on rentals available if you're very keen to look at a close-up of in the wild. You can pick up the binoculars. Also available is something called Pug Marks, which is a souvenir shop where you get to buy the t-shirts, jackets, caps, and a few other naturally made items like honey, soap, and all that. So this is the passage which takes you to the boat, and up ahead in the distance is the boat. All the boats are lined up there. So all the boats are getting filled up. All the tourists have flocked in. As you can see, it's absolutely packed. Once you board the boat, you have to wear the life jackets, which is a mandatory requirement for any boating trips. Once you're on board and the cruising begins, the guide on board comes and explains the highlights of the tour, the safety aspects, what you get to see in multiple languages. Safety and security is the priority here, so you have to listen to it very carefully and follow what he says. One of the key things that you have to keep in mind is not to stand up on the boat. Normal human nature is such, and once there is a sighting, people all tend to look that side and try to crowd around in that area, which creates an imbalance on the boat. To avoid such things, everybody is requested to be seated and see the beautiful surroundings, including the animals that you get to see from their respective seats. And everyone is requested to follow the procedures as told by the guide. The wealth of Periyar Forest consists of flora. There are over 1,965 flowering plants, including 171 grass species and 143 species of orchids. As for the fauna, more than 60 species of mammals are found here, which include the Asian elephant, Bengal tiger, Indian bison, samba deer, Indian wild dog, leopard, barking deer, and the smooth-coated otter, which can be sighted during a boat cruise in the Periyar Lake. The Nilgiri Thar is confined to the hilly, rocky areas where the endangered lion-tailed macaques can be found in the interior evergreen forests. Both the bonnet macaques and Nilgiri langur can be seen near the boat landing area. Periyar Tiger Reserve has about 265 species of birds, including migrants, the Malabar grey hornbill, the Indian pied hornbill, Many species of dorongos, woodpeckers, flycatchers, babblers, the spectacular Malabar trogon, etc., can be seen near where the boat lands. And the reptile population consists of cobra, viper, krait, a number of non-poisonous snakes, and the Indian monitor lizard. Among the amphibians, frogs like the colorful Malabar gliding frog, fungoid frog, bicolored frog. Among the fish, Periyar Lake and streams have several species of fish, including the mahasir, the famous and endangered game fish of India. Periyar Tiger Reserve is one among the most famous protected area not only in India but in the world, and is located in the high ranges. With an extent of 925 square kilometers, the Periyar Tiger Reserve forms the largest and the oldest wildlife sanctuaries of Kerala. It is situated in Idukki, Pathanamthitta and Kottayam districts. The park has exclusive tourist zone for nature education and interpretation for visitors. Nearly 7 lakh tourists visit the park annually. The Periyar Tiger Reserve is one of the globally accepted tourism destination. Apart from providing revenue to the government, Periyar Tiger Reserve provides livelihood to hundreds of people living in and around the Tiger Reserve. Every year, about 7 lakh tourists visit the park. The tourism values of Periyar Tiger Reserve is also dependent on its catchment, subsistence, cultural, social, educational and aesthetic components. It has been realized that the concentrated efforts towards environmental security and conservation of biodiversity can become more effective if there is an overall appreciation and satisfaction by the visitors. The aesthetic values of the protected area can be utilized in a manner which effectively conveys the rationale behind creation of the protected area and generate goodwill towards forest, wildlife and management. An effective communication between tourism in protected area and people is required to succeed in this task. Out of the 22 protected areas in the state, 2 have got the status of Tiger Reserve, and the Periyar Tiger Reserve is the largest and oldest one. Since the Periyar Tiger Reserve receives a good number of visitors, it supports around 25,000 people around the protected area directly or indirectly, making it one of the best parks in India with great potential for nature tourism and education. People-oriented and park-centered community-based ecotourism is the hallmark of Periyar Tiger Reserve. People-oriented and park-centered community-based ecotourism is the hallmark of Periyar Tiger Reserve. These programs are conducted by local people responsible for the surveillance of the vulnerable parts of the reserve. By taking tourists along, they will also be involved in the conservation of the forests of Periyar, and some valuable revenue is generated for community welfare. People who once made a living by illegal operations in the forests have since become the forest protectors and earn their livelihood through these programs. Hence, as a visitor, when people join into any of these programs, they are directly contributing towards forest conservation and community welfare. Community-based and protection-oriented ecotourism programs were initiated in the Periyar Tiger Reserve during the IEDP. These programs were developed to ensure livelihood, security, and to reduce the negative dependency on forests. 3 basic tenets of conservation, community, and tourism coexist in these programs. The objective of CBET programs are to enhance reserve protection, help local people to earn subsistence and supplementary livelihood.
Sighting on a boating trip is always a challenge. The reason being, you are uninvited guests in the forest. And when you are uninvited, there is no reason why the host should come out. It is at their luxury or at their requirement that they will step out. When you're coming for the cruise at the Periyar Tiger Reserve, which has got a thick and dense vegetation, if you are lucky, then you would see something. Otherwise, you will see variety of birds, boars, deers, sambar. If you're lucky, you would get to see the elephants and the tiger. Those are rare sightings. So do not come with the expectation to see the animals, because there is no guaranteed sightseeing. There is nothing which is artificial over here. And whatever you see over here happens the natural way. There is no shortcuts. There is no way to induce the animals to come outside. Periyar doesn't give you the same kind of an ambience or an atmosphere because here everything is restricted. So the sighting is going to be limited. When you're coming on a lake cruise, it is the beautiful flora which is going to mesmerize you. The stumps on the waters, the beautiful lake cruise which takes you through absolutely serene and quiet forest. That is an experience which is going to be there in your mind for a very, very long time. And in between that cruise, if you get to see something, it's your luck. Consider that as a bonus when you're on this cruise. So do not, I repeat, do not come with an expectation for animal sightings like tiger and elephants when you're on this cruise. If you get to see them, you are going to be the lucky ones. Enjoy the cruise as it is. Enjoy the greenery around this wonderful Periyar Tiger Reserve and go back with fond memories. Don't forget to click the photographs or the videos that you need to take back home and tell the rest of your family, friends and the world on the Facebook.